Now this is the Drake Interplanetary Kraken. This is a ship directly out the world of Star Citizen, so if you're familiar with that game you might recognize it. And it's been faithfully rebuilt in Space Engineers by a very well-designed builder. A builder that has gone into great detail to capture the size, the scale of this ship, and all the detailings from the landing pads to the hangars inside that we're going to explore today. So let's start by having a look around the exterior, and we'll go tip to butt, probably the best way of going about these ships, and we're going to start ourselves right here. So you'll notice that there is this really interesting jutting out section here with these sort of rebarbed sections with a WR535. Now up here we actually have these turreted seats. These are not fighters, these are giant railgun defense turrets with a seat at the front there so that they can be manually shot from. So look at that little rotor under there, a bit weak but still very cool design. Coming up here, we've got a secondary turret. This one's got another seat. So these are manually operated turrets with rotating arms. These would be really exciting to try and gun some fighters that are incoming down to this thing. So to get a bit of a sense of the scale, I'll put my character here next to this as well. So it's a big ship, but it's not ginormous. It's something that you could use within a survival world. So coming a bit further back, we of course have got a logo nicely presented on the side. And this is the old small block converted onto large block tactic there to get the detail in that design. And as we stagger ourselves a little bit further back, you get a bit of a feel of the upper deck of an aircraft carrier here. So you've got this lower section that's complete with a solar sort of sail there. Then you've got this outrigger that extends out to the side, complete with a docking door and connector. So you can actually dock up to this thing and enter into the ship from there if you wish. Now coming up onto the top deck, we have got the landing pad area for various fighters or larger cargo ships. You can see these areas are quite large and they've got two connectors on each of them. They're all numbered up as well, and there's lots of detail and outlining that's been gone into here as well. You can see that we've got these little green and red lights that have been blinking, and then coming around the side, very much like, it seems very inspired, this ship, by an aircraft carrier, and we've got more detailing coming up the side. So we've got that O1/A, all small ship to large grid conversions, and then the Drake in the planetary logo down there at the bottom. So as we work our way across this deck, we've got a split deck. We've got a split deck situation here. So this split deck is split into these four other landing pads on the other side. Now these four landing pads, as you can see here, we've got 1 to 4, and they've got this little outrigger once again on this side here as well. So it's not a symmetrical ship, and I know that will drive some people mad, but I quite like the idea of an unsymmetrical ship. I don't know if that's something to hate on. So as we come down here, you'll notice that each one of these hangar bays actually has this little access door on the inside here as well. So you can access up to your ship, load it up and send it on out. And each one of these landing pads has one of these. And these are split up with these oxygen tanks here. So you've got a quick way of resupplying the oxygen of whatever ship lands on the pad. Coming down below, we've got this detailed segment with this split. We've got this lower section here below, and these are of course big hangar doors, but we almost missed the detailing on this side. This looks like some sort of large long distance comm array over on this side, and you can see they've got some light in there. I really like the idea of using the little lights on the side of these catwalk pieces to add some sort of antenna details there, and we've got another sneaky logo hidden there as well. There's loads of hidden detail across the ship, and this is why this one's really nice to explore, and I would encourage you to explore it yourself. So we've got another little drop down hatch here, a little escape hatch out the bottom, and then we've got some more manually controlled turrets. Now the landing gear is currently raised up at the top here, but when these do unfold, there has a very vast landing gear coming out from this section. So we're moving into the hangar bays on this side here, and you can see that there's two large hangar bay doors. We'll just dip inside for a second so you can see what's going on there. A little sneak peek at one of the forklifts that's actually sitting inside, but we'll have a look at that a little bit later on. And then we're coming up to the opposite side of the sort of the control tower or the midship. So this has got these interesting little catwalk segments and these out bits that are jutting out the side. We're just looking at the detailing into this design here itself. So you can see these little outriggers got two barrels that have been stuck in there for a bit of detail. And then up here we have got more of these manually controlled turrets. Of course these could be set up with AI as well, but having the ability to jump in that seat and control that turret is very cool indeed. Going down to the lower midship, we've also got ourselves another hangar door down here below. So you can see there's a ramp, landing and landing 2 there as well. So this ramp will all come down. We'll show you exactly what it looks like in a few moments time. And then as we wrap around the back, we've got our rear thruster cells. So you notice that there is a number of thruster cells wrapped around the outside, and then we've got the main housing that consists of these 4 large engines. But what I really like what's going on here is all this piping that's piping up these hydrogen tanks. It just adds so much more detail to the design. Now, coming over on this side, of course, since the ship isn't centered, we've got a completely different side here. The lower deck is mirrored to the other side, so you can see that there is barrels and the same sort of systems that are over on there. And then this side, we don't have ourselves hangars. We've just got ourselves a flat side of the ship with a little bit of detail, nice little wiring connections, and they've also used some of the side sort of girder pieces there as well as the new sort of scaffolding blocks there to add the detail. So there's so many blocks now in Space Engineers, you can add a lot of detail, and you can do it in a real quick manner. Coming to the front there, you can see that there is more detailing going on the side of the landing gears with a little warning symbol to say which way they'll fold out. Now, going back up to the top deck, it is time to get ourselves inside, and I think the best place to start here is entering through from this main hangar door. So as we enter in through, we've got ourselves a little forklift door here, so a forklift to move supplies off the main deck, I guess you could say. And then we come into what is quite a compact interior on the upper decks. So the upper decks, there's lots of different things going on. They're leading into different sort of command and briefing rooms through here, to little offices, and of course a toilet that direction. But if we quickly go past the fish tank and we go up, we're actually at the main visual command deck. So from this deck up here, from this seat, you can of course pilot the ship, and you get well, I'd say a good view of observations of what's going on. From this lower area, you could of course see what's being launched from the decks. I think that'd be really cool to see people come and take off and land from the deck of this ship. But let's continue working our way through. So we'll exit through the back of this door here. And we've got this sort of dual access door, that these like little commander briefing rooms. There's just so much detail aboard this ship. But if we bring ourselves back down to the hangar, instead of going up this time past the forklift, we bring ourselves down. So as we go down here through this nicely illuminated yellow catwalk, we've of course got access to like a little backup survival room. Each one of these rooms has been nicely detailed. You can see how this access then onto the hangar ways over this side here. Now coming back inside and working our way further down, we've got another little store. We've got directions to the bridge up there. And this is habitation and medical on this floor. And it's all been color-coded. That I think is great. This corridor is so cool as well. Imagine having a battle in here. So we've got the medical bay over on this side. Compact medical bay. The nice little window out the side, complete with a fan. Keep things cool. And then we have the various different decks. And there's lots of color-coded items. Let me turn the light off in here so you just get a more sense of the sort of vibe of this. You've got habitation 1, so these are little areas where people can live, sleep, eat, and whatnot. Then you've got the flight deck is on the right. Let's have a look. So flight deck is leading us back up. So that leads to that door that leads onto the smaller little decks out to the side. This corridor is there's so much going on here. They've really managed to capture the detailing, and if you've ever played Star Citizen, the detailing of the ships is one of the biggest sellers of it. The people love to just have a good go at what's going on inside these ships. So we'll continue working our way through here, and then we're at the end of the corridor. So at the end of the corridor, we've got this access hatch, and this actually takes us down to that emergency escape door that I showed you before. So we'll go back through there, and then we'll start working our way out to the side. So we've got these little ventilation and maintenance corridors in here, all dark and dingy. I like the idea of that. I think it's quite fun. And this ends up at the side exit port right there. So there's a lot going on here. Let's go down to the lower deck, and we'll enter in through one of the lower hangars just to show you what's going on. It's very easy to get lost inside here with so much going on. So these are the lower hangars. These lower hangars come complete with a magnetic crane that moves across. So the magnetic crane, I believe it's controlled from up here. Let's bring our character over and see if we can have a little control of it. Oh, no, it's not controlled from that one. Perhaps it's controlled from another station somewhere else. Ah, this looks like something. Let's see what controls this gives us. Oh no, we're going to have to learn everything. Automated crane trigger. Okay, so that crane there brings it... So it's a proper gantry crane by the look of it. That brings it back and forth. We've got 4 that brings that arm back and forth. We've got 7 and 8 that lower that down. So this works on a button press. So if we hold the button, it looks like it moves out and moves across. So there we go. We could offload some cargo or load some cargo onto a ship. A really cool feature that. It's nice. It'd be nice to see this in other sort of designs, little gantry cranes like this. They're not always the most functional. They always do tend to rip off though when you're driving around in your ship. Well, there's the 2 little gantry cranes on the inside. let's work our way up. So we've got this larger sort of deck here, and this larger deck actually accumulates these stacker trucks that can then drive back and forth. But we'll dive in through here. We've got these little storage and off lockers. I really encourage you to have a look around this ship yourself, because there is going to be areas of this ship that I miss just due to the level of detailing that's going on. So we've got on and off. So we've got these little cargo pads. These can be used for dropping cargo or supplies, perhaps from the forklift. And then the gantry crane, the gantry crane can't quite get up there, so perhaps the forklift has to bring it up and down. And then we've got another access door here on the back, and this is like a little blast door that leads us to the big hangar room. So this is a really moody room, this. So this is a giant gantry crane over here that accesses the lower hangar bay. And into the lower hangar bay, of course, we've got access to the bottom that does open itself up. So let's see if we can access the buttons here and open this up for you and show you just what it's about. I'm not too sure if there's a button on the top, or we're going to have to do this all manually from the crane on the inside. So let's bring ourselves into a position. So we've got a button down here. Is this the button we need? That is the question. Loading ramp. There we go. So that is the button for the loading ramp. So it looks like it's some sort of straight lowering ramp. Oh, it's not quite a straight ramp. It's using a hinge to keep it level. So we're using two hinges to keep it level. They've even detailed inside of where the ramp would come down. Look at that. That's a fun little idea, isn't it? So you could load different things up on the forklift. You could bring it up to this deck, and then you could bring it in through the crane. Let's continue working our way through this ship. Got another blast door, and inside here we have a very, very ambient engine room. Look at this. This could be almost like a set of a movie. So you've got some control seats here. You've got the engine that's actually been built out. You can see how it's been stacked on these blocks here. They've got the wrapping around of these pipes. They've got this lovely orange glow that makes things feel a little bit more industrial. And this giant hydrogen tank up here on the wall. Combine that with the spotlights. The ambience in this room is absolutely spot on. You'll have to let me know if you agree with me in the comment section. But this feels like a large industrial style engine room. So let's actually just quickly drive ourselves out the side of the ship and have a look where we are. So that's right at the rear of the ship. We've really had quite a good look around the ship. I wanted to see if there was anything tucked within the sort of center or forward areas here. So this is just piping and tubing. This is just access, I'm guessing, so they can wire things up. I think we've had a look at most of the rooms and most of the areas. I've definitely missed something though. So let's head up to the bridge. So up to the bridge. I'm guessing that this is going to be the main control seat for this ship. So let's get ourselves in. Oh, let's have a look at our acceleration first. So acceleration isn't too bad. It handles like a ship of this size. So we've got roll left and right. Let's check that out. Deacceleration is quite slow. Let's have a look at all its fancy features though. So we do have a turret controller. We have an automated landing gear. So that's for landing gear. Let's get our camera back in place. I think we probably just shot off from the thing. And let's attempt to lower our landing gear, see what happens. So this is going to be a very slow industrial process. Look at them. Are these landing gears going to be wheels? Interesting. Wheels do work well as landing gears, but you've just got to understand that they do have limitations and you can't hit them too hard. A lot of people do feel safer when they land on a landing gear, even though it's a bit of a harder landing. So yeah, this has got a giant number of wheels that look to be unfolding out. And they seem to unfold out at a little bit of an angle like that, so they can take a little bit of an impact. So that's quite cool in itself right there. Let's have a quick look around, see if there's anything else we've missed under here. So going back up into the bridge, we do have access to some other things. That's a loading ramp, so let's have a quick look at the loading ramp. So that's the loading ramp going back in. What else do we have here? We have the piston loading platform, so let's have a look at that. Okay, so there's another trapdoor loading. So there's two of these. Piston loading platform. Oh, so these look like they could be used for a rover of some kind because they've got this flat access. And then there's also number 8. So you've got one there as well. So you could have rovers quickly deploy out of this one. This ship, for me, in Star Citizen, I believe it's far too expensive. For the people that play Star Citizen, let us know in the comment section of how much a ship of this size would cost to buy in Star Citizen. I'm guessing it's going to be a lot. I'm guessing it's probably going to be the price of a game, but I honestly don't know. But this being built in Space Engineers, at least it's absolutely free to have a play around with, have a bash and see if you can destroy it. So an absolutely beautiful ship to have a look at. It's been a pleasure looking at this one. The detailing is outstanding, and I recommend that you check it out for yourself. If you do want to check the ship out for yourself, there'll be a link down to it in the description of this video, so go over there and check it out. If you've enjoyed the presentation of this video, hit that like button. It really does help. It helps video get out there to more people, and they can see what amazing creations are being done within the Space Engineers community. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Okay, I was going to wrap things up, but I just wanted to test out one of these turrets just to see if we can operate them and how easy they are to operate. So we've got ourselves in there. We're using F9 to override our controls, and this is the turret. So it's quite mobile. I don't know how this would work with more players, desync and lag, but the idea of it is quite cool. So you've got the autocannons on the top there, and you've got the railguns on the bottom. Let's quickly test out this other one. I should have tested this in the main video. I do apologise for surprising you with a little test right at the end here. So this has got the larger artillery cannons, I believe. So this one's got arms that raise up and down. Oh, that's cool, isn't it? It's cool. It's just, I like the idea of having a turret where you can manually jump into it. Of course, the AI can control all these as well. So, oh, there we go.